All right, let's just get right into it. The reason you might be struggling with money, it has absolutely nothing to do with your willpower or how smart you are. The truth, and this is gonna sound crazy, is that your brain is actively working against you. I mean, think about that feeling when you look at your finances, that knot in your stomach. Your brain sees that exact situation, but what it feels isn't failure. No, it's something else entirely. Your brain looks at that and interprets it as a success, a sign that you are, in fact, surviving. That's right, it doesn't see it as a failure that needs to be fixed at all. To your ancient survival hardware, staying put, staying safe, even if that means staying broke, well, that's mission accomplished. So let's just get this straight right now. You are not lazy. You are not weak. You are running an operating system that was perfected for a world that just doesn't exist anymore, a world where a risky financial investment would feel a lot like a predator hiding in the bushes. And that ancient operating system? It runs on 3 core loops. The very first one is what we're gonna call the Scarcity Default. This is all about why your brain will always choose safety over any chance for real growth. And at the very heart of this Scarcity Default is a powerful cognitive bias called loss aversion. See, your ancestors survived because they were terrified of losing the few berries they had. That felt way more important than the potential reward of maybe, just maybe, taking down a mammoth. That exact instinct is still hardwired into you and me today. Now, what's so wild about this is how you can actually quantify that feeling. The psychological pain of losing $100 is literally twice as intense as the pleasure you'd get from gaining that same $100. Your brain isn't built for profit. It's built to avoid pain at all costs. So every single time you look at a financial opportunity, this war ignites in your head. Your modern, rational brain, the prefrontal cortex, sees the potential for growth and is like, yes, let's do this. But your ancient instinctual brain, your amygdala, which is always scanning for threats, just sees lethal uncertainty. It screams danger, and it floods your system with stress until you retreat right back to the safety of what you know, which is usually scarcity. But it's not just a default setting. Oh no, there are 2 powerful chemical feedback loops that are actively keeping you stuck there. So let's break down exactly how these 2 traps work. Okay, first up is the dopamine trap. And this one is sneaky. It's a loop where you get addicted to the feeling of being someone who's about to succeed, and that very addiction is what stops you from ever actually doing it. Here's how it works. You sit down, you plan your big move, starting a business, learning a skill, whatever. Just the act of planning releases a hit of dopamine, the reward chemical. Your brain gets that winner's high without doing any of the winner's work. So it basically thinks the mission is complete, and it shuts down your actual drive to go out and execute the plan. Planning feels like progress, but really, it's a neurological trap. And while that dopamine loop is seducing you with this illusion of progress, there's another, much more aggressive system at play, the cortisol block. Now, this isn't just some gentle nudge in the wrong direction. This is a physiological wall that physically stops you from taking action. And this right here shows the vicious cycle. Financial stress, an unopened bill, a low bank balance, it triggers cortisol, the stress hormone. Cortisol activates your threat response, which screams at you to avoid the threat. But of course, avoiding the bill only makes the financial problem worse. This bigger problem then triggers an even bigger spike of cortisol, and the spiral just keeps feeding on itself, locking you in place. So here's the crucial point. You've got 3 powerful systems running at the same time, and they're all feeding each other. The Scarcity Default keeps you thinking small, the dopamine trap rewards you for just planning, and the cortisol loop paralyzes you with stress if you even think about tackling the problem. It sounds impossible to beat, right? But here's the key. All 3 of these incredibly powerful biological loops, they share a single point of failure, a single mechanism that can interrupt all of them at once. And we're gonna call it the identity override. So, what is it? What is this master key that can unlock these ancient chains that are holding you back? Well, I can tell you what it's not. It is not a new budgeting app. It's not another productivity hack. And it is absolutely not about having more discipline or willpower. You can't fight billions of years of evolution with a to-do list. The answer is an identity shift. The only way to change the output is to rewrite the core code of who you believe yourself to be. So here's the neuroscience behind this. Your brain has a process called identity homeostasis. It works just like a thermostat for your behavior. It doesn't care about your goals. It has one job: make sure your actions are always consistent with your underlying identity. So for example, if your core identity is "I'm bad with money," your brain will unconsciously sabotage any behavior that contradicts that belief. Get an unexpected bonus? You'll suddenly feel this powerful urge to splurge. Find a great investment? You'll procrastinate until the opportunity is long gone. Your brain's only job is to bring you back to your normal. So let's talk about how to actually begin the override. And you need to hear this. None of this is your fault. These systems were installed in your brain long before you had any say in the matter. But now that you know they exist, it is your responsibility to do something about it. I really want you to let this sink in. You were never bad with money. You were simply a human running a brain that was never designed to accumulate it, living in a world that now demands that you do. The mismatch is the problem, not you. So here's your first step. It's simple, but man, it is not easy. Before tomorrow, I want you to take out a piece of paper. And on it, I want you to write down the one-sentence identity statement your brain is actually running about you and money. Not what you wish it was, what it truly is. I am someone who is always broke. Or I'm not the kind of person who ever gets rich. Be brutally honest. That piece of paper, that's the beginning of the override. And I want you to go one step further. In the comments below, I want you to post that financial identity. Put it out into the world, just one sentence. Because acknowledging the current code is the very first step to rewriting it. And then take a look at what other people write. You're gonna realize you are not alone in this fight. This is where the real work begins.